OK, well, cop a load of this, people, because Suella Braverman's championing of the government's illegal migration bill appears to be paying off, with the legislation having passed its second reading in the Commons last night. But numerous Conservative MPs did not vote. There's a mixed bag here, because demonstrators protested against the bill, obviously, which aims to tackle small boat crossings in the Channel by barring those who come to Britain illegally from claiming asylum and being removed from the country. Critics say that the plan may violate the European Convention on Human Rights, and they say that it's too cruel in its provisions. But with me now is GBNews' political reporter Olivia Utley, because there's very much another side to this. When people were talking of some kind of Tory rebellion, they were thinking that they wanted to join those protesters outside Westminster, soften the thing, water it down. Oh, isn't it awful? What a horrible little racist, uncompassionate country we really are. But actually, there are a growing number of Conservative MPs who don't think this bill goes far enough. Olivia?
Yes, so what happened last night was the bill passed its second reading, although there were a number of abstentions from those on the left of the Tory Party who believe that this bill, as you say, sort of is cruel to migrants. Every single Conservative MP actually voted with the government on this bill. But we're now going into committee stage, and what we're expecting to see at a committee stage is a rebellion from the right of the Conservative Party, who are worried that this bill just doesn't have the teeth that it needs to actually get anything done. So their concern is that the bill states that migrants who come here illegally can be deported to a third country.
Yes.
They worry that these deportations won't actually be able to happen because they're all just going to get tangled up in the human rights courts. So what they want to do is for Britain to leave the European Convention of Human Rights, European Court of Human Rights altogether, and so be no longer subject to its jurisdiction.
Now, I was live covering a show for Dan Wootton months ago when this flight, the Rwanda plane, was on the tarmac, and we were almost doing plane watch, right? We had it on the corner of the screen. And I'll never forget this. We just saw the lights on the plane go out, people being led off, and the lights at the airport go out, and everyone packed up and went home. And we were like, well, what's gone on there? And what they don't want, some of these Conservative MPs to happen, is for that to happen again. And we can see it coming a mile off, can't we? Legal challenges. Surprise, surprise, the boat's not being stopped, and we're in this kind of vortex of inaction when it comes to actually tackling the migrant crisis. Can I just ask you, people say, oh, we can't leave the ECHR, we can't leave European Court of Human Rights because that would align us with Belarus and Russia. But couldn't we just do something else instead that wouldn't make us Belarus and Russia?
Well, yes, exactly. There are Conservative MPs who believe that we should leave the European Court of Human Rights, who think that, you know, we leave, why would we be Belarus or Russia? Why would we not be Australia or Canada? Not every single civilised country in the world is in the European Court of Human Rights. And what you were saying there, I mean, I was talking to a very senior Conservative MP today who was suggesting that actually going ahead with this legislation without leaving the ECHR, he believes would be worse than doing nothing at all. Because, as you say, the way that voters would see it, what they want is the small boat stop, what they'll be looking for, they'll be on boat watch, they'll be waiting for action. And if these deportations just keep getting so tangled up in the European Court of Human Rights that they don't actually see any migrants leaving for Rwanda, it will be seen as a big loss for the government, and the government may have been better off just leaving it with the fudge that it was.
I'm telling you now, something really weird will happen with the public psychology, OK, which is that the public at the next election will look at Rishi Sunak and his plan to stop the boats, and they will see that he's not stopped the boats, and they will vote for a man who never wanted to stop the boats to begin with. And that is what will happen. That is what will happen. Suella Braverman, though, an interesting dynamic to this, Home Secretary. Now, she is in favour of us leaving the ECHR, isn't she? So what's she going to do about this?
Well, yes, this is a very interesting dynamic, as you say, because about 6 months ago, Suella Braverman wrote a foreword to a think tank pamphlet saying that the pamphlet was saying that Britain should leave the ECHR, and Tory Party wrote the forward saying, yes, she agrees that would be the right thing to do. Well, of course, that caused a bit of a ruckus because she's the Home Secretary, and government policy is that we should stay within the ECHR. So at the moment, Suella Braverman and Rishi Sunak have managed to find, enough common ground with this immigration bill, which would essentially work around the European Court of Human Rights. But if there is this big rebellion, which we are expecting to see, and I've spoken to senior Conservatives who say that the legislation for this amendment, which essentially says that Britain should leave the ECHR, has already been drafted. It is going to be tabled, and over 50 Conservative MPs are going to support it.
Good.
Then it's going to be quite awkward between Suella Braverman and Rishi Sunak.
Well, it is, but they should be put in an awkward situation, because I think the British public are sick and tired of this, like I said, this vortex of inaction that comes across.
Well, that said, I mean, Rishi Sunak, what he's deeply concerned about is there being a counter-rebellion from the sort of more liberal side of the Conservative Party.
Well,
people like Robert Buckland, who hold a lot of sway within the Conservative Party, Damien Green, who is so far supporting the bill. These people are important to Rishi Sunak's chances of electoral success, and he doesn't want to annoy them. So it is a delicate balance that he's got to strike.
All right. Olivia, thank you very much. Olivia Utley there, our political reporter, bringing you up to date on the inside track here that we have at GB News of a brewing Tory rebellion.